A lot of this mismatch in this field specifically, the anti-vaxxer, is literally born out of weird juxtaposition of like looking at your medical care professionals and thinking of them as people who are trying to farm you, people who are trying to make money off of you. That is where a lot of the skepticism comes from. And I don't think people understand how dangerous that is for the future of mankind. Okay. It should not be profit driven. The people that actually make out like bandits in the pharmaceutical field, in the field of medicine, are not the actual grad researchers, okay? They're barely making ends meet. I fear that you've never actually met someone who is a PhD, who is actually a grad student working on this research. So you just in your mind think these are all like homosexual Marxists, but then also simultaneously multimillionaires only working on this kind of stuff specifically for the profit motive, when it is the furthest from the truth. They make maximum $30,000 a year, barely can make ends meet. And the only reason why they're doing it is because they want to advance mankind. They have genuine fascination with whatever they're working on, and they want to also make the world a better place. This is a normal incentive that a lot of human beings have. Okay? The people that are actually making the money are executives that don't actually play a role in the research part at all. They are the ones who then land on the patents and then try to work as best as they can to extend those patents. Use all the money that they make and dump it back into marketing. Use all the money that they make and dump it back into research and development, but not necessarily for a novel chemical compound discovery, but instead research and development for new mechanisms of delivery. This is a trick pharmaceutical companies use, Big Pharma uses, to extend the patents that they have. Oh, this was a normal drug that you need, but now you can put it up your... We still maintain another 5-year extension on the patent, so you can't get the generic version. There's a lot of issues here. Proof of your point. Doctors.board is medical professionals who do make lots of money, still go out into dangerous areas and give care for free. Exactly. People always talk about how, profit motives, and including Joe Rogan, who doesn't understand it, by the way. Joe Rogan doesn't understand the problem. He's literally talking about like how the systems are so broken fundamentally, but doesn't understand what the reasoning is. So inevitably, you just go back to this, they are doing this attitude. Who is they? Well, Joe Rogan himself might not think it's Jews. I don't think he is. I don't think he believes that. But plenty of people do attribute the they to Jews. But it's not the anti-Semitism in this circumstance that I'm like complaining about. It's the lack of interest in like examining the underlying reasons as to why this structural problem exists. And the structural problem exists because of capitalism, because people have lied for years and years about the profit motive and how that is the only reason why people do.
There's the revolving door between the CDC and the FDA and then these pharmaceutical drug companies. So the people that make the regulations then go on to have these cushy jobs with the pharmaceutical drug corporation. It's like, oh, nothing to see here. It's like it's open. It's right out in the open. Right. And when he talks about all that stuff in his book, you're just like, what the... And if this wasn't true, he would be sued.
American freedom of speech, unfortunately, in a circumstance like this, fortunately it exists, but unfortunately in circumstances like this one, make it virtually impossible to genuinely be litigious against someone who writes unhinged in a book. He endorsed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in this video. What I find very funny about this is that he had a bit of a Kyle Rittenhouse moment. He endorsed RFK Jr. and immediately the Republicans were like, oh, what the you? Cat Turd, one of my favorite political commentators in the space, probably the GOAT, the greatest of all time to do it, the greatest white boy to ever do it, came out and was talking about how Joe Rogan is gay. Like literally, immediately. It's like that. They have one defense. Cat Turd, the left crying about Joe Rogan 24/7 is making him 1,000 times more popular. Dear leftist, ... Joe Rogan can say anything he wants on his podcast, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it but cry. Joe Rogan endorses RFK Jr. So I've never been a Joe Rogan fan. Can't stand him. Yes, he has a popular podcast, but I've always thought he was absolutely politically dumb. He's great at figuring things out 2 years after we do. What a legend. So did it surprise me when he endorsed idiot RFK Jr. today? LOL. No. We are talking about the same idiot who endorsed Bernie Sanders, right? He's the podcast equivalent of a dumb blonde joke. Who has the gayest low IQ dumb male blonde joke political infant podcast in the world? Joe Rogan. Answer A. Answer B. Also Joe Rogan. So that's the beauty of it all. These guys are an insane cult, and they did this to Kyle Rittenhouse the other day as well. If you remember, Kyle Rittenhouse also came out and had a brief moment. It was a blip, basically. Kyle Rittenhouse themselves came out and was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to support Donald Trump because Donald Trump is not good at gun laws. Kyle Rittenhouse, for those of you who don't know, is a person who very specifically went to kill people at a BLM protest, a counter protester, an agitator, got away with it as well, legal to do that sort of thing, and was a beloved figure by the right for quite some time. But here's what happened to him the other week. Kyle Rittenhouse said he wasn't going to vote for Trump due to him being bad on the Second Amendment. The MAGA circus went immediately ballistic, called him a traitor, and created a conspiracy that he's actually a trans woman and a part of the globalist Illuminati. Here's the video.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
That was wrong. He did have a take back. So after like 24 hours of every Republican immediately doing this to him, he did take it back. It's all a psyop, says Isaac's Army. He's a she. Q told us symbolism will be their downfall. Q told us infiltration instead of invasion. They literally started saying he was actually a woman and also gay and also a Freemason and also Illuminati and possibly Jewish. So then he turned around and said, over the past 12 hours, I've had a series of productive conversations with members of the Trump's team, and I'm confident he will be the strong ally gun owners need to defend our Second Amendment rights. My comments made last night were ill-informed and unproductive. I'm 100% behind Donald Trump and encourage every gun owner to join me in helping send him back to the White House. They are out of control. The Republicans are so insane at this point that they immediately go, oh, you don't want Trump? You must be a gay trans person, a gay trans woman who is actually secretly a woman. Here's another version of events as well. Biological female. This is a female. Female shoulder to hip ratio. Female Q angle. No space. Kyle Rittenhouse female skeletal markers. Oval female skull. Small ear. Slopping jaw. Like, I'm telling you right now, if the number of people who operate like this continues to grow, it's over. I mean, it's already over. The American Project is done, okay? We have been running on fumes, okay? This is not bait. I'm telling you, back in the day, there only used to be people like this who would be screaming at you on top of a soapbox outside of a subway station. Now those guys are on Twitter, and others like them are also on Twitter going, wait a minute, this guy's right, okay? We are slowly growing the number of people who are giving themselves schizophrenia. They did this to Andrew Tate as well. Beloved figures on the right, the moment that they sidestep from whatever like the prevailing right-wing narrative is, the moment that they sidestep, they're like, oh, you're a woman. You're actually a woman. You're a trans woman, and you are gay and also a woman. They're now transvestigating Andrew Tate. I guess she forgot to wear her fake penis. I told everyone about this a while back. It's all of them. If they are on stage, they are part of the inverter show. He/she blocked me for calling him/her a transformer. Those sloping shoulders, and her sister is even worse with those huge hips. It's so obvious. Cock watching. I'm telling you, we went from pocket watching to cock watch. Oh, it's so good. And the Republicans lost their minds over Joe Rogan as well. Alongside the rest of the Republicans, the reason why I did the sidestep away from the Kyle Rittenhouse phenomena is because they got one speed. Immediately, they pounce, right? Joe Rogan was forced to basically make a statement, okay? Because they built this audience. It's filled to the brim with hogs, and they just kind of are audience captured in that regard. They're just audience captured in that regard. They now are too invested in maintaining this grift, or rather, like, they believe some of the statements that they're making, but maybe not all of it. But because their audience is so massively right-wing, because they pandered so much to the hogs that they can't even say, like, I kind of like RFK Jr. without everybody calling them gay and trans men and secretly biological women or whatever. They did this with Dylan Mulvaney. Remember Dylan Mulvaney? One can. Dylan was on the Bud Light can. Everybody was like going crazy for months, for like a month actually. They think Dylan Mulvaney was actually a biological woman, assigned female at birth. Then she was trans into being a man, and then she was retrans into being a woman again. You're insane, brother. You have to realize, like, you lost your mind. You lost dang mind, bro. So Joe Rogan, after Donald Trump pounced on him, as well as everybody else, you know, Cat Turd and all these people were like so mad at Joe. Trump joins his supporters in attacking Joe Rogan for saying he's an RFK Jr. fan. It will be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring, MAGA 2024. They're eating his ass. So he now turned around and posted a tweet. He said, for the record, this isn't an endorsement. This is me saying that I like RFK Jr. as a person, and I really appreciate the way he discusses things with civility and intelligence. I think we could use more of that in this world. I also think Trump raising his fist and saying fight after getting shot is one of the most American things of all time. I'm not the guy to get political information from. If you want that from a comic, go to Comic Dave Smith. He actually knows what he's talking about. Hogs were crying about the endorsement. Thanks for clearing this up because I was literally crying about it. You are not normal. You have lost your mind if you're crying about Joe Rogan endorsing RFK Jr. over Donald Trump. Holy moly. But Joe Rogan wasn't the only person, okay? So they did this with Joe because much like Democrats, they're now vote shaming, which I personally love. Keep up the good work. You only do this if you want to lose, okay? Apparently, the neo-Nazi Trump invited to dinner alongside Kanye West has revoked their support. White supremacist and far-right political pundit Nick Fuentes shockingly revoked his support from Trump's campaign early Friday, announcing on social media that he and his allies believe that the presidential bid is headed for a catastrophic loss, okay? Young groypers are posting about how sad they are, but it doesn't end there. Setback for the RFK Jr. campaign. Right-wing YouTuber Tim Pool says he'll vote for him, and RFK thanks him. But now Pool, after facing criticism for Cat Dirt and other prominent MAGA figures for abandoning Trump, says he was just kidding and won't be voting for RFK after all. That was a short-lived haha, I was just kidding moment from Tim Pool, who, you know, is famous for this kind of haha, just kidding moments. He loves the jokes. He's a big jokester. RFK Jr. says, I'm so grateful to you, Tim, for your confidence in me, but most of all, for your steadfast defense of the Constitution and relentless love for our country. Oof, I really stepped in it this time. Ha ha ha, holy crap, I'm voting for Trump. What the Wait, I thought Tim was a centrist. Yes, I am trolling in response to people attacking Joe Rogan and Kyle Rittenhouse. There's no real argument against voting Trump, but me, some of these diehard MAGAs are destructive as the left is. I love this stuff. Think about if you are a liberal, if you're in this chat, and there's a lot of liberals amongst us right now because there's a lot of people tuning back into the election, excited about Kamala Harris, reinvigorated. Remember how funny it is when Cat Turd starts yelling about Joe Rogan for his endorsement of not Trump. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be like the MAGA cultists. This is why we say you look like the MAGA cultists. You look like Blue Anon. You look like Blue MAGA. I want Trump to win. You will not turn things around by denying reality or insulting moderates. Drop your egos. It's so funny. Dude, no, they're like, are we trusting polls now? I love that. Yes, no, you're right. You shouldn't trust the polls. Trump is doing great. I'm going to be honest with you. MAGA influencers need to chill out and stop acting like losers. You're not helping anything. In fact, you're actively hurting Trump. Joe Rogan is a celebrity. Suddenly we're supposed to care about celebrity opinions. The internet is not real life. Sign off and harvest a ballot. I love that they are doing this. It's like, bro, you can't say MAGA influencers chill out and stop acting like losers when you look like this, okay? When you are the quarter pounder, they're in a dire situation and they recognize it. And why? Why are they in a dire situation? Because the Democratic Party, for the first time ever in a sequence of W after W, has actually responded to the pressure because it happened to be a perfect planet-aligned moment. The donors, the voters, and Nancy Pelosi, most importantly, were all in agreement that Biden needs to get swapped out of the ticket. So they responded to that pressure and they did it. Then they followed along along with that additional pressure and made another good move. They made Tim Walz the VP, basically locking them down on progressive policies, making bold, declarative, out and about progressive policies your mainstay, your actual platform. All the while, notice how Republicans have no response to that because they are not used to running against a good strategy. Do you understand? Republicans are not used to running against actual good strategy. They don't know how to do it. They've never done it. They don't know what to do. They're flailing.
Hello again.
Dude, I'm upside down.
You're sideways. You're not even
Sideways.
almost
There you
upside
go.
down.
Didn't help.
Should I be iPhone like this?
Yeah,
Sure.
it's certainly better like that.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I have a fix. Hold on. I got this. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Turn on
Chris.
PlayStation Plus.
All right.
Nice.
Turner, what a lovely setting you're in.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. No, this is this is my apartment. This is where I.
What city do you live in?
I live in Providence, Rhode Island, but no, the Mr. Beast team did not call me Rhode Island. Funny enough.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah,
Your
thanks.
apartment
I'm
looks
like
lovely. That's awesome. You live by yourself?
No, I live with my fiance Megan, who's based
Oh,
here a couple years ago.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
so
Is there a big delay on my part? Is
Nope.
it sounding good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Normal.
Oh.
Yeah, you're great. So we spoke to you, gosh, a few years ago now, a couple years ago.
Like 3 years ago now.
And what
Yeah, it was. So 2 years ago I was on, and then a year ago I made a video about the Boston slide you guys played. And so
Oh, how weird. Right.
Right.
So what did we talk about 2 years ago when you called in?
it was like my time on Big Brother talking about Klein water clearance and whatever, and then we briefly got into my Mr. Beast time. And now that I'm on my victory lap, we're so back.
What were you saying about Mr. Beast 2 years ago?
It was right off the show and off being on Big Brother. And at that time, I'd been getting so much hate for years. So I was like, yeah, you know, it's all good. And it is all good, you know. But watching my video back last night, my video was so tame compared to everything else. I'm like, damn, I kind of got shit from like Bold Blacks and Keemstar and all these people for like the most tame video I could have possibly made.
Yeah, I mean, up until very recently, Mr. Beast was like, so he was just shielded up. He had like dragon armor. You know what I mean? Like everybody was running defense for him constantly. And I remember Roseanne also got mega shit on when she called into our show.
Yeah, and so a funny like antidote I had was no one has ever said this, and it's why Delaware actually needed to come in. It was because at the time the first manager that ever worked there, his name was Dan. Sorry, Dan. And he was actually a really good guy, but everyone was consistently making these jokes wildly inappropriate about his like 5-year-old kid.
Ew.
And so, I know.
Like what?
And so, like, gonna go home and fuck insert name. Like,
What?
craziest thing.
Who was saying that?
I know. Well, Ava, Jimmy, it was like the thing. It was like funny edgelord kids, which is crazy.
So hold on, this guy Dan is just like a normal ass dude with a daughter,
Son, but yeah.
a son. And so they were all joking about
They would make these like
sex
crazy
with
jokes, and
child.
one day we were filming the video playing Fortnite in the middle of the ocean, and one too many jokes got said, and bro flipped. Like, understandably, he couldn't take it anymore, and he took a cameraman and he threw him into the water. Wow. It was a whole big problem. And so then the next day, he was fired. Delaware came in a week later, and it's so funny how this same environment that we're around kids all the time, that's his fan base, and then he brings in Delaware. There's this fostered environment with Wally that they all think is so funny, and it's like the combination that doesn't sit very well when you add all three of those things up. So yeah, it was just nuts. I think Cody Coach should start working there.
This is really
We've all jerked at the lolly at some point.
that is not true.
No.
Maybe at Beast, but not in this office. This is actually, this is really compelling.
That's kind of insane.
I would actually love to chat with that guy. I mean, what the fuck? People talking shit on my kid? Dude, I'm ready to, I'll fucking kill. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I still talk to him. I talked to him the other day.
Where is he, dude? We gotta hear from him.
I mean, I can flip numbers and get Olivia in contact with him or something. However you want.
I would love to hear his side because that sounds fucking disgusting. And then
it was just insane, and I wasn't gonna speak up. I'm already like have problems of my own at the workplace. What am I gonna say? This 18-year-old at the bottom level. I'm not gonna be like, hey Jimmy, slow your roll. I'm gonna hit or something.
Yeah.
I can totally understand that. Like even he had to like just laugh it off, you know. Totally get
100%.
that.
But, and like now, it just feels good after all these years. I mean, not all this coming out, obviously, but it's like, hey, I was saying this in like 6 years of getting shit for this.
That's
now
true,
it's like,
man.
hey, yeah. So and now even the comments on like my channel is like, sorry, bro. I'm like, thank you.
Oh shit, that's good. That's nice.
Yeah, I know.
You know, think about it. He had this guy Dan, nice guy, family man. They were making pedophile jokes about wanting to fuck his son so hard that he left the business. And then in his place, they hired a child rapist.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. And it's like, at the time...
Let's not be too, I guess...
Well, I mean, he's convicted child
He's convicted, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in the clear there.
He pled guilty.
Yeah, he pled guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were just told he had a record. I didn't know what it was for until this all came out, and I was like, dude, is that freaking Delaware? And
Wow.
then I was like, oh wow, this all makes sense. It's just no pedo, quote, whoever that guy is, but no, all a bunch of freaks.
Oh my
I was
God.
just like, dude, I want to come say that. But yeah, it's crazy.
What was Delaware like?
Oh my God. So, I mean, this is a little sidestep, but when he was coming in, he worked at Best Buy at the time. He was like a Best Buy manager. I don't really know how that translates, but he came in with like a pair of headphones. He was kind of a dick. So I went to Best Buy the next day. I didn't know he worked at Best Buy to return them. And he's at the counter of returns, and he's all pissed off. I'm trying to return his stupid ass gift. So I'm like, Delaware, bro, you suck. Sorry.
He was working in both places?
Yeah, for about a week. I think he's probably had to take, there was an overlap. But no, I definitely didn't like the guy. And like, again, he facilitated, when you're a manager, I think if everyone's talking about lolly discords, maybe shut it down. I don't know. That seems like the best route to go. And it's so crazy, especially when people are like, yeah, he had no idea about Chris's whatever. It's like, bro, that was like a funny joke to them.
So do you think Jimmy knew about all this stuff and they just didn't, he just thought, maybe he laughed about it but didn't know how serious it was? Like, what's your take on Jimmy's?
Well, to be fair, and even in my original video, I've said, like, I've tried to be as fair as possible. I don't think Jimmy had any idea about the meeting up with people. I just don't know. I feel like that was like Ava's dirty secret at the time, but they definitely knew about the lolly. That was like so funny to them. They're like, yeah, look at the lolly Discord. Did you check the lolly Discord?
Oh,
it's like,
shit.
Bro, I know. I had worked there for like 2 weeks when they were like, yo, you mess with lolly, bro? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And so,
Who asked you that?
Yikes. Insane.
Who asked you
I know,
that?
and at the time, I'm 18. I didn't want to get sued when I made my original video, but there was so much stuff going on at the time. There was soliciting prostitution. There was
what?
God.
Wait, you say whatever you want now, boy.
Dude, I don't necessarily want to get sued. So this is in Minecraft. I don't know.
In Minecraft.
Oh my God.
Who was soliciting prostitution in Minecraft?
There was, so we all hopped in a Minecraft server for a bachelor party. Yeah, dude, the 3D animation was crazy.
I know one person around at Beast in Minecraft who got married. Was it the person that I'm thinking of that got married?
To be fair, I think there's like 5 people who got married, but this person did get married, and no way, actually, no, this is not that person at all. No, it's not Ava.
And in Minecraft, did you end up hiring the creeper?
The creeper, the person who wanted the creeper didn't have their V-Bucks, and so I had to pull out my V-Bucks to get to this person, which is insane.
So they did acquire the creeper in Minecraft. It actually went down.
Yeah, the creeper was acquired.
Wait, was it The Bachelor? Was it The
This is
Bachelor?
so hard to follow. I know a little bit from Teddy, so I'm like catching
Yeah.
little references.
It was the guy who...
Just being honest, there's no chance I'm saying his name, but it was one of the main like zombie pigmen of.
Okay, wait. And was it one of the ones that was about to get married? Was it? My question is this. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like
No,
a
go.
cheating thing? Is basically what that's trying to get at.
No, it was not a cheating thing,
Yeah,
which is
okay.
very nice.
Very nice.
That's a silver lining, huh?
It was like for the bachelor party.
Sounds like one
Yeah,
person.
we were there for the bachelor party. We were in the Ender. We traveled somewhere, and then it all happened. And it was like in my original video, I wasn't coming out fist blazing like this. I was just trying to be like, hey, I was bullied in the workplace, but I wasn't gonna do the whole this, you know. But now this seems like the tamest accusation, if anything. So whatever.
I don't think you'll ever get bothered for this because, like you said, it's like such a big pile. And I mean, shit, if you're telling the truth, then you really have nothing to worry about.
Oh yeah, I've been saying this like, I make tweets and then I delete them after 6 seconds. I was doing this like years and years ago. I don't know, I get scared. I pussy out of my tweets. I can't really hang like you, Ethan. So, but
Well,
yeah,
I deleted Twitter. I didn't know. I can't hang there either, man. I'm on. I had to bail. So wait, I'm curious. Who was saying what? What was the deal with they were all talking about a lolly server, unaffiliated with Mr. Beast, but they were all a part of this lolly server where people shared?
Well, I know the main accusation was just that Ava was in the lolly servers. I just know that they all had, there was like a writer's room where Chris's like big desk was, and I know it was referred to, oh, check this out. Oh, Turner, yo, new kid, you ever heard of lolly? Look, yeah, I mean, I don't know that everyone was in the server. Ava was 100,000% in the server. That's, I mean, undeniable, but they all knew and thought it was funny. Even, it's so gross to think about. Bro, it's a kid. Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
So it's Ava who's kind of in there, always trying to like get people involved, it sounds like?
Yeah, they're doing the real groundwork on this project, and then, yeah, it's nuts.
That is fucking horrific. That is actually pretty compelling.
Yeah, and like I never planned on talking about this ever again. I have my own fan base. I mean, like doing things on Instagram, building furniture. I'm so removed from this now, and so it's just like I never thought I'd talk about this again. But listen, I know I saw the live stream. I was like, all right, it's topical. Get me in there.
Well, I appreciate it because this is actually a lot of new stuff I'm hearing.
We're so back.
Wow, the culture is bananas in there. That's the problem with this YouTube shit. Like, you give a bunch of kids like a massive budget, a huge audience, and all the capability in the world, and there's no adult in the room. Like that would never happen. Well, terrible things did happen at traditional media companies.
Yeah.
We've learned, but like not to this. I feel like there's a lot more oversight.
I feel like the problem was the only adult in the room was a convicted pedophile and the mother. And so it's like, who exactly am I going to go to for help? Like, now obviously there is HR probably, but at the time, absolutely not. It was like, oh, I'll go to his mom and make a complaint about him. Yeah, that's going to work out in my favor for sure.
What's Jimmy's mom?
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was a warden before she got this job of
You say a
COO or
warden?
whatever. Yeah, like in prison, like a prison warden.
Holy fuck.
The
Maybe she
Shawshank
had a
connections
network
just keep
meeting with
piling
them.
up, dude.
She's a warden? So the
Something like that.
Hold on. The head of the prison is working with the pedophile.
Right.
To spread lollies.
Yeah, they had really crazy networking meetings.
God, what is happening in that?
You know the mission.
Yeah, so that's kind of all I have, but I felt like it was definitely like something to add to the conversation.
What are you up to on Instagram? Building furniture.
Yeah. Hila followed me a few months ago, and I was like, whoa, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. So,
I saw a video you made about like your apartment and stuff you do around the apartment.
Thank you. Hell yeah.
What's the handle?
Turner?
It's Turner, but Turnurr, so like Turner. Turnurr.
Team's going for B.
Turner.
Yeah.
Just Turner?
Yeah, Turnurr. I mean, that's not how you spell my last name, but that's all I could get.
That's pretty
Here,
close.
I got the link for you.
Yeah, here's him. Let's see. Take a look at what you're up to.
Thank you.
I saw you back from the podcast account.
To be fair, I'm a very, very big fan, so it is nice to be back. But yeah,
I
thank you for
appreciate it. It's
showing
nice to
the,
talk to you again. I appreciate it.
So yeah, I do like kind of just the most wholesome work. I'm building furniture with my fiance. Like we're just doing woodworking tutorials. So yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love your loft, by the way, dude. It looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I.
What?
I
This
really
apartment's
appreciate it.
nuts,
I
bro.
know,
That
the
was so
apartment
nice.
looks crazy. Yeah.
That's where I currently am. This is the loft with a friend of me's beanie right there. But
Nice.
So you're a carpenter now, huh?
yeah, basically after the whole thing came out, I was like, well, I can't be an editor. No one's hiring me now. So
True.
it took years. I got on Big Brother. Like I started like cultivating a small fan base. I kept making my rugs, and then just like furniture was a natural next step. So
Well, congrats. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
thank
And
you. I
it's
really
nice,
appreciate it.
nice that you're getting a little vindication in terms
Yeah.
of just like catching unwarranted shit for.
It is nice. I was a little bit of, like every time I talk about this, which really has only been a couple times in like 5 years, I'm nervous that it's gonna like go back to how like, clout chaser. It doesn't even make sense. With like the accusation of clout chaser is crazy. But yeah, I was worried about this, but I feel like, I'm just standing on my truth. I haven't said a single thing false. So it's like, what could you possibly say,
You're good, man.
People just weren't ready,
You weren't ready.
Yeah,
You're ahead of your
exactly.
time.
You could only people just need to be ready for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's very true. So if you guys want to check out Turner's work, it's Turner.
Thanks.
Ner.
We'll link it. But hey, if you're in touch with that dude Dan, I'd love to talk to him. If
Yeah,
he's up
I
for
can.
it.
I can I can DM Olivia the
Yeah,
contact
totally.
info. I'll go to him first. And,
Yeah, see if he's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about this. What they were. I mean, this is really,
Absolutely, Dan.
really gross stuff. So I'd love to talk to him if he's available.
Yeah,
for
I'll
it.
message you after the show and you can send it. Thank you
Cool,
so much.
perfect. Well, guys, thank you for giving me a platform to say all this. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of the show. And I'll be tuned in as I have been for years.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for
Thanks,
watching.
Turner.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Turner.
Talk to you.
Love ya.
On
No
Instagram.
keto.
No Turner. Turner. Wow, there's some actually salacious.
Some bombshells in there.
For real.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Wait, what the? Do they think that she's anti-Merry Christmas? Do you think that that is the context of that? Is that she is like
No need to keep a low
anti-saying Merry
profile.
Christmas?
3, 2, 1.
Attached to it and the karma
Neutralize
of
the
a bunch of
enemy
people.
team.
Who wants Cheney's soul?
Right in your wheelhouse,
You know,
agent.
the aliens do have that dude.
Remember when he shot someone and then the guy apologized?
Yeah. You know how gangster that is? Like, you shoot a guy in the face and the dude's like, yeah, I look like a bird. Don't worry about it.
I look like a dude. Can you?
You're
What is
transmitting
with?
great intel.
Is there
This is how
any
wars are
way
won.
to you that we're not being gaslit like to hell by Kamala Harris?
In what way?
Hostile suppressed.
Like, wasn't she like a joke even among Democrats? Like 10 seconds ago, like literally,
Sure.
like a day ago.
Yep.
And now it's like the country's rallying around.
I know. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's because, and I will repeat this over and over again, and I said this over and over again, so did Edgar Mantum. There was a poll that came out in the New York Times. There was a poll that came out in the New York Times a couple months prior to the swap that happened, that showed that a generic, no-name Democrat was outperforming Biden by 25 points. 25 points. Okay? I saw that and I said, wow, it sure seems to me like Americans don't hate Democratic policies. They just hate whoever the Democrats have put forward. Okay? I also pointed to the down ballot races in contested Senate seats, where the same Democrats that were now not faceless Democrats, but actual candidates like Amy Klobuchar and things like that, were actually outperforming Biden up until the moment of the swap by 10 points. Okay? This to me showed that Americans were not angry at the Democratic Party. They were not angry at the Democratic policies. They were angry at who was at the top of the ticket. Something important to consider. Why did I describe all of this? Because Kamala Harris is a generic Democrat. She is basically a blank sheet of paper, okay? That's it. That's why there is so much momentum. The fact that she is younger than Joe Biden, the fact that she is more dynamic, more vibrant than Joe Biden, the fact that she's a woman when this is going to be a race about women's reproductive rights. That's the reason why there's so much momentum. She is a generic Democrat through and through, okay? How was she a blank sheet of paper when she was the VP? Because VPs, if picked to not outshine the P, like Kamala Harris was, are blank sheets of paper.
But I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even.
we're so easily manipulated, and they're all doing it in lockstep. Yeah, no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. She was she polled as the least popular vice president of all time.
Yeah.
She is. I had dinner with a friend of mine recently who actually knows her. He says she's very smart, but when she gets in front of the camera, she locks up, and she's just not good at communicating. And she tries to go off script, and
She's anything but generic. Kamala Harris is the most generic Democrat. What are you talking about? Kamala Harris is a generic Democrat. When she was a senator from California under the Trump administration, she, much like the rest of the Democratic Party, ran on a ton of progressive policy positions. She ran for president on the progressive campaign when she was going up against like other obviously significantly more popular progressive candidates. Okay, she got owned for that reason. She was so forgettable in the actual Democratic primaries in 2019. Okay, policy wise, she's just a Dem. That's it.
Whenever you're talking in front of a large group of people, there's a bizarre stress and pressure that really constricts your ability to communicate.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
As of the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's weird. And this is just you and me, right? This is just you and me. And now imagine you and me, but we're in front of 15,000 people that are hanging on our every word, and you're kind of freeballing, and maybe you really haven't even done the research, and someone's asking you how you're going to fix the economy, right? And then you have some the problem is everybody needs money because the bills, and we're working on that. Like what?
Well, and that's so obvious when, with the passage of time is significant, and the significance of the passage of time is significant because of the passage of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's someone who is basically like a kid in the 5th grade who's writing a book report, but they haven't read the book.
That's every time I see her on camera, that's all I can think is that she's the kid who didn't do her own work.
Right.
Because she just has that vibe. Did you see the clip of her talking about how dare we wish Merry Christmas to people?
Eliminate all hostiles.
Yeah, she does this bizarre rant about how we shouldn't be wishing Merry Christmas to anyone.
Is this when she was a senator?
I don't know. It's recent.
It's recent.
Yeah. It's so strange that that was her. That's the only time I've seen her passionate about anything on camera.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen the one she was telling that people need to be woke. Everyone needs to be more woke. You should be more woke. You should figure out who's the wokest. You try to be the wokest, but everyone should be more woke. She's laughing. It's like, what the
And
hell?
when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Wait, what the? Do they think that she's anti-Merry Christmas? Do you think that is the context of that is that she is anti-saying Merry Christmas? The speech was in response to a very recent mass shooting, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Bro,
It's
this
almost
is
like you've done this before.
Yeah, man, keep running the war on Christmas narratives. Yeah, that's what the Democrats are running on. War on Christmas. So they found a clip ripped out of context and played it and took it as a fact. It's just like, contextually speaking, that is literally the dumbest context, okay? You have to be so unimaginably primed that you have lost like parts of your brain that normally operate, where you go, this doesn't pass the smell test. I know this from how my haters clip me out of context all the time, okay? I know that. There are a lot of people who are just like genuinely primed into hating someone. So they just go, yeah, no, I bet that like she's just anti-Merry Christmas. That's so stupid. And then here she is saying Merry Christmas, like she's pro Merry Christmas. What's going on? Oh, I guess she's flip-flopping on Christmas. Nobody cares about that. Reddit thread on this topic on the Joe subreddit. It's so obvious that the context in the clip is some court decision where kids didn't get justice around Christmas time is not going to get people, is not going to do with people generally wishing others Merry Christmas. It's me that people believe this. Joe's gone full boomer. His famous protector is a dead battery for years now. What is that clip from? Let's go find it. Let's find that. Trump falsely claimed Harris doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Former U.S. President Donald Trump made the claim at an August 3rd, 2024 rally. Trump told the crowd at an August 3rd rally, Harris, ready? 2 words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Bro, first of all, it's August. Basically, the accusation less than 5 months from Christmas holiday was that Harris, while setting her sights on the White House, did not want anyone saying Merry Christmas. However, this broad claim was both false and nothing more than the lament or latest chapter in what has become known as a war on Christmas, a familiar theme of seemingly imaginary persecution promoted at past Trump rallies. The Fox article, this is where it comes from. Then Senator Kamala Harris warned Americans not to say Merry Christmas until there was a permanent status for some illegal immigrants, amid a Trump-era battle over prosecutions for some illegal immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. It was about dreamers. According to NBC News, article linked in the Fox News story and photo posted on NBC Latino X account, the video showed Harris speaking at a news conference for the DREAM Act rally at the United Methodist Building near the U.S. Capitol. Now, really, what's really funny about that is that Dreamer Protections was at 90% approval rating. 90%. It was so popular that Trump had to actually go back on the Dreamer status and basically put it on the back burner. Yeah. So I think that the context of this story obviously makes people understand exactly what the fuck he's saying, unless you are brain broken, especially because it's such a non-issue. Nobody hates Christmas, man. Nobody's the Grinch. Like, what are you, a child? You're literally like, the Democrats are the Grinch. They want to steal Christmas. Yeah. Iman Khalif won the gold medal, by the way. Algerian boxer Iman Khalif wins gold medal at Paris Olympics after facing scrutiny over misconceptions about her sex, which is a wild way to describe the situation. It was just trans panic maxed out, which I'm sure they'll go. They'll probably go even nuttier now. Shitstorm incoming. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when we're just like at the mercy of some of the most insane people?
All hostiles. No need to interrogate anybody.
Why isn't the Olympic institution defending her? They have. What do you mean? They have. So if you want them to do. Hi, I'm YouTube and I love engagement. These right-wing trolls are great for the numbers. Exactly. Bro, her opponent came out and apologized for leaning into the trans panic, but it doesn't even matter, okay? It doesn't matter. You have to understand, in most circumstances, it's not even, what is this? What? Biden's decision got a full 2-hour documentary? Nice. It doesn't matter. These people are not operating on what the truth is. They don't care. They've like hallucinated and locked themselves into a right-wing bubble. Anyway, we are currently watching another version of this, okay? We are currently watching another version of this exact same phenomena, okay? Female boxer from Algeria that is like pretty anti-LGBTQ, by the way, right? Where it's illegal to be gay or trans, wins gold medal in the women's boxing division. Right-wingers refuse to admit that she's a woman and go off with trans panic regardless, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the truth is. Just like it doesn't matter what the truth is to these dinguses either. Like, they literally think Kamala Harris is like saying, I'm going to be so mad if you say Merry Christmas. Don't ever say it.
She invoked Greta Thunberg a little bit there.
Oh, that's so nutty.
No.
How dare we?
How dare we? How dare you?
Yeah, no, we're definitely being gaslit. And not only that, here's the big one, right? She wasn't elected, right? She was appointed vice president, and then they didn't do primaries. They had no primaries for Joe Biden, and now all of a sudden she is the nominee because he's stepping away. And so then they bring in her, and they bring in this other guy who's radical from Minnesota. That's the vice president. Who
like the crazy thing is, like, Tim Walz, if Joe Rogan wasn't so insanely right-wing pilled, like if he wasn't so insanely red-pilled, he would look at a guy like Tim Walz and be like, he's awesome. But he's hitting the right-wing talking points like he's Brian King, dude. What do you mean radical? If Kyle Kalinske sat down with Joe Rogan right now and explained to him Tim Walz's positions and the fact that he owns no stocks, okay? That's like so good for normies, dude. So good for average, like, middle of the ground, moderate to like moderate right normies. They love that 24-year veteran and then spent most of his time like dealing with veterans affairs in Congress, literally fed children, paid family leave. These are not things. These are not individual policies that Joe Rogan would consider to be radical. This is a man who has literally been like, yeah, I'm pro Bernie Sanders. Okay? Doesn't own stocks. If someone were to sit down and explain to Joe Rogan who Tim Walz is and what his positions are, he'd be like, oh, dude, that seems like a great guy. If you watch one video of Tim Walz, I don't know, hanging out with his daughter, going to the state fair, he'd be like, oh, man, actually, never mind. Maybe I was misled. Okay? But because he's getting so much right-wing commentary on his entire timeline, it's like so obvious that it's broken his brain.
He believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13. Another one is abortion up until 9 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. Obviously, there's reasons why people medically would, like, if the woman's life is in danger, if the child has something wrong, it's not going to live. There's reasons why they choose to do things like that, but that stuff scares the people. He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like the
Bro, he's
Somali flag.
Dude! He's so brain broken. He's so brain broken. He's so brain broken. He's literally so brain broken. Dude. Oh my God. Brother, you are so stupid, dude. You are so stupid. Someone needs to take his Facebook away and his Twitter away, dude. You need to tap out. You need to dial it back. Holy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Yeah. Show that video. So the video of him taking down the Minnesota flag and he replaced it with the new flag that looked...
Dog, it doesn't look like the Somali flag, number one. Number two, it was a fan contest. It's not like Tim Walz did the flag.
Looks a lot like the Somali flag.
Wow.
Minnesota has a huge population of Somalis in it.
Well, isn't what's her face?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her face?
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's a video of him doing it. Well, okay, well, let's see the video.
Jamie, shut the fuck up, Jamie. Let me do my thing. Hey, Jamie, I'm in the pocket, okay? I'm going ultra instinct, okay? I'm doing right-wing memes. Shut the fuck up, Jamie. Talking about some shit in the background.
But they did change the
Jamie, shut your ass up.
Minnesota state flag, correct?
Sometimes the false.
Yeah, that's the problem with, like, fact checkers. Some of these fact checkers are completely full of shit. Like, you're just trying to debunk something, especially now when there's...
No, yeah, you're right. Fact checkers are full of shit because they said that it was a fan contest, which it was, that the people voted on, which was the truth. All of that stuff is actually fake. What's real is he's secretly a Somali man. Yeah, no, Tim Walz, dude from, like, Nebraska or whatever, farmhand growing up. Football coach, teacher, 24-year veteran. He's actually a secret Somali. Oh my God! Wait until this finds out that he speaks Mandarin. Oh my Lord! Wait until this dude finds out Tim Walz speaks Mandarin. Holy!
All the scrutiny being paid attention to what this guy's done. Yeah. What have you? What's the the false stuff, Jamie. It's not the flag itself, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I typed in, I was just trying to even get to it. A whole bunch of stories are popping up. I'll just say this, like, no, we didn't give him the Somali flag. No, he didn't change it. Resemble Somali, false Somali.
But what does it look, okay, but what does it look like now? Okay, on the left is Somali flag.
At least Joe Rogan gives us cognitive dissonance in real time once again, dude. He has so many of these moments. There's going to be like an 8-hour-long compilation of Joe Rogan facing normal facts and just being like, well, I didn't know. Why does it lie?
On the right is the Minnesota state flag. Okay, same color as the Somali flag, a white star, a different white star in it.
It's not the same color, and it's not the same flag. It is so insane, dude. The account that you are posting, the account that you are taking into consideration is Andrew Torba, the Nazi who owns the Nazi platform Gad. You are not trusting your intuition. You're not trusting your own maybe personal critical thinking or whatever remains in that ape head of yours. And you are instead trusting Andrew Torba, the Nazi who owns Gab, the Nazi website for Nazi pedophiles. Oh my God. Holy dude. What the
like the Somali
full brainlet, dude.
Flag, very different than the original Minnesota flag. And there's the video down below that. That's when he changes it out. So he takes out the Minnesota state flag. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Turn the volume up, please.
Revolution single-handedly, eh?
Opening a can of Hila.
All right, ready. So he gets the flag, picks it up, moves it out of the way, and replaces it. Look at this.
We, as a society, were not equipped to deal with the internet. Every single person, we as a society are not equipped with the to deal with the democratization of information dissemination. Okay. Everyone has now become the email. So Zoomers don't know this, and Generation Alpha, if you're in here, you don't know this thing that when we were growing up, our parents used to believe. It was called email chains. So, okay, chain letters, email chains. Back then, they would do like these crazy, like email this to 10 people or else like you're going to be cursed or whatever, right? If you don't send this to like 10 other people, if you don't send this email to like 10 other people, you'll be cursed for life. And our parents and our grandparents believed that, right? They did. They were scared. But luckily, there was not a broad network that actually connected all of those people who believe in that kind of stuff so that they could all get together and collectively go, no, it is real. The email chain stuff that I saw is real. Okay. But now with the internet, you're on Facebook and they believe that.
There, that's better.
Is it?
Why is that better?
I don't know.
Why do you care what the flag looks like, first of all? And why do you get to change the flag? How crazy is that the governor gets to change the flag? Like, who else is involved in that decision to change the flag?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Usually it's a big event. They let people pick, you know.
Right. Now, we have a bunch of people that's a high population of Somalis in your state. I would imagine they would want to try to get that flag a little closer to home.
Yeah. The worst incident of fact checking was the quid pro quo Joe clip where Biden brags about.
I guess we're moving on. I'm gonna look up the Somali percentage. Hey guys, we did it. 64,354 Somali people got together that make up a whopping 1.25% of the entire Minnesota state population. They got together like the pirates that they are and took over this, democratic process. Joe Rogan, if you have been watching him over the course of many, many years like I have, is a in real time example of what happens to your brain when you watch and read too much right-wing garbage. Okay? This is literally a perfect demonstration. Like, he has gotten progressively dumber progressively dumber over the course, especially accelerated post-pandemic, especially accelerated when he moved to Austin, Texas. He is a perfect example of what happens when you do too much right-wing commentary, when you read too much right-wing
that time that he withheld $1 billion of aid to Ukraine.
So they fire a prosecutor.
To fire a prosecutor that we now know his son worked for. And if you type that in, Snopes or whatever would tell you, just like, oh, that didn't happen. Biden, there was no quid pro quo, and Biden didn't want the prosecutor fired. That is because he didn't know that his son worked.
Dog, you're just objectively wrong. His son didn't work for the prosecutor, you idiot. Also, not only are you wrong, but if his son worked for the prosecutor, then it would be still against his best interest to advocate to fire the prosecutor. So not only are you wrong, but you're so stupid that even in the wrong argument that you're making, you still are literally not showing a conflict of interest, rather lack thereof. Hunter Biden worked for Burisma. The prosecutor was refusing to prosecute Burisma. He was also considered to be too corrupt by every group involved in, I don't know, Ukrainian affairs in general. Republicans and Democrats alike petitioned international organizations, petitioned the Obama administration at the time to push Ukraine to drop the prosecutor. Hunter Biden, working at Burisma, was benefiting from this prosecutor not being dropped. Those are the facts. It was so stupid to make an argument like this because while Hunter Biden is a beneficiary of nepotism and did not deserve the job that he got at Burisma, obviously, and lied to Burisma about his access to the White House to be able to get that job, Joe Biden's decision to move the prosecutor from his role was not actually one that helped Hunter Biden. As a matter of fact, it harmed Burisma and it harmed Hunter Biden. But the hilarity of the situation is that this fucking dumbass doesn't know the actual. He doesn't even know what the actual. He doesn't even know what the actual false information is. He said, Hunter Biden worked for the prosecutor that Joe Biden ended up firing. That doesn't make sense, dumbass. Then that means Joe Biden worked against Hunter Biden even in the fucking false narrative that you're trying to present. I can't deal with right-wingers, man. They are so fucking stupid. The argument that he just presented is that Hunter Biden had quid pro quo with Joe in the Burisma situation, where he actually worked for the prosecutor that Joe Biden was advocating to fucking fire, that Republicans in Congress were writing open letters to demand Joe Biden fire.
Biden, there was no quid pro quo, and Biden didn't want the prosecutor fired. That is because he didn't know that his son worked for Burisma at the time. And it's like, how can you just say that's fake? And like, it's scary to me that people will read that and be like, oh, it's fake. It's like, no, look at it, like with your eyes.
Yeah, fact checkers are fucking dangerous, and it's really, I mean, what you're seeing is kind of treason. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. If you're seeing that kind of fact checking, you're lying. You're lying, and you're intentionally misrepresenting facts, and you're doing so because you want a specific result politically.
Right.
And it should be illegal.
I agree.
Especially if people.
This is one of the funniest fucking stories because it just it doesn't hit. Like, Republicans tried it. It objectively didn't hit. It was so fucking out there and nobody gave a shit about it. They literally spent countless hours doing this investigation. It falled on its fucking face. It was genuinely such a dud that even Fox News dropped it. But Joe Rogan himself is still running with this narrative. That's how fucking far he is. At this point, I feel, sorry, I said fall. I'm getting dumber by watching Joe Rogan. This is a real issue, okay? This is a very real thing that happens when you watch too much Joe Rogan. I've watched 7 minutes and 50 seconds of Joe Rogan, and I've already become stupider. Dude.
Think of you as a fact checker, and what does that mean?
Minnesotan here who participated in the flag redesign, the final design melded two top contenders, then was given to a design team to clean up and modify. The star chosen was picked to represent both Minnesota as the North Star state. The blue on the left is an abstract shape of Minnesota, and the light blue contrast represents the sky. These guys are so fear obsessed. This was an extremely democratic process. Damn, we got a primary source in the chat. What? Prosecutor was going to investigate Burisma. Brandon withheld $1 billion to Poroshenko unless he dropped that prosecutor. You don't have the facts on this case. Stop defending the Biden crime syndicate. You are literally fucking stupid. You are the stupidest person. You are the stupidest person in the chat right now. Okay? No, the prosecutor was not investigating Burisma. The prosecutor was withholding his investigation on Burisma. The prosecutor was also withholding a bunch of other investigations that the UK wanted him to move on so they could seize the assets of certain people that he was supposed to prosecute. This was the reason why many international leaders were demanding that the Obama administration turn around and get this prosecutor to be dropped from the case. Unless you personally think that Hunter Biden has incredible, I love you, bro, but you are wrong. I follow this very closely. You followed it very closely and you're still in the wrong. What the fuck are we doing? Do you think that Hunter Biden has juice, so much fucking juice, that he was able to not only motivate Joe Biden to do something that was inevitably going to hurt him, but also to motivate international global leaders? Like the UN was trying to drop the fucking prosecutor. Republicans in Congress were writing letters. Why do you think they were doing that? Do you think Hunter Biden was able to convince all of them? Do you think he just showed his dick to everybody and everyone was under his spell? Hunter Biden's got aura like that. Joe protected Hunter. He did so with the laptop too. Oh my God. No, don't move on from the original point of contention. Do not move on from the original point of contention. You're trying to hit multiple avenues now. Fuck the laptop. We can get to that later as well. Answer my question. Do you think Hunter Biden was able to motivate numerous European officials, a prosecutor in the UK? No, you're not demonstrating a pattern. Get back. No, you're not. You're not demonstrating a pattern. You are moving the goalposts because you don't know as much as I do about this issue. Listen to my words. Do you think that Hunter Biden was able to legitimately change the opinions of multiple independent UN-backed investigators, a prosecutor in the UK, numerous Republicans in Congress, 3 GOP senators called for Ukrainian government reform in 2016 letter, including Republicans, 8 senators, 5 Democrats and 3 Republicans, Ron Johnson, Rob Portman, and Mark Kirk. Signatories acknowledge governmental reforms already made in Ukraine and expressed concern about the resignation of a cabinet minister who heralded those reforms. We similarly urge you to press ahead with urgent reforms to the Prosecutor General's Office and Judiciary. The unanimous adoption by the cabinet ministers of the basic principles and action plan is a good step. Do you think Hunter Biden was able to captivate 8 total senators, including 3 Republicans and 5 Democrats, to actively petition the American government at the time to get this prosecutor off? No, Hunter did not have that much influence, but Brandon did. Ukraine was and is a bipartisan project. So, wait. So you think Joseph Robinette Brandon went to Republicans and said, hey, can you write a letter to me? And the Republicans were like, yeah, we'll do it, sir. Republicans that are still in office, by the way, at the time of this article. I don't know if they're still in office, all of them, but like Joe Biden was like, hey, can you please write me a letter demanding that I drop this prosecutor so that I can do this without looking like I'm corrupt and trying to save my son, even though dropping this prosecutor actually harms my son because the prosecutor is refusing to follow through on a Burisma investigation that's been active for a while? Because if that's the case, considering that there was a United States House Oversight Committee investigation into the Biden family, why didn't those Republicans come out and speak and say, yeah, Joe Biden actually got us to fucking write this letter? I missed the chatter. Where is he at? Guys, Joe Biden sucks, okay? You don't have to do all of this shit. Yes, he asked 50 directors or whatever the security community to write a letter to the laptop. No, we're not talking about the laptop. We're not talking about the laptop. You haven't been able to provide any counter sources. This conversation is not about the laptop. This conversation is about Hunter Biden and Burisma. Stop running away and moving the fucking goalposts. Get back to my question. Don't do this. You know exactly what's going on right now. Stop frantically Google searching and admit that you're fucking maybe not as knowledgeable. It's proof that Joe can get 50 people to sign a letter. Oh my God. You have provided zero evidence as to how Joe Biden got Republican senators to write a letter demanding that the Obama administration drop the prosecutor in Ukraine. Okay? This is entirely irrelevant to that point of contention. Getting like fucking security community members to talk about the laptop is completely irrelevant. That is an entirely separate case. So it's a good thing that those Republican senators didn't come out and blow the whistle on Joe, asking them to write a letter. Yeah, it's shocking that those very same Republicans that wrote that letter to Joe after Joe asked them to write that letter, so the 50 were all supporters of Joe. No, the 50... Chatter, I'm not doing your little rhetorical trick. We can have a conversation about the laptop later if you actually answer the questions I'm asking you about a totally separate case. This is completely irrelevant to the point of contention, no matter how hard you try to grasp at straws, okay? You're moving the goalposts and you're demanding that I stay on your topic because you also recognize that you're in the wrong.
What does it mean to be a fact checker? The problem with facts is a lot of them are very subjective. You can find one small inconsistency or one, you could phrase a question in a certain way and have your answer false in a different way because you're just finding some nitpicky way to look at things. I've seen a lot of that to the point where
facts are not subjective. What the fuck?
You're like, that's not fact checked at all. You guys are just fucking, you're gaslighting. It's right. Pure gaslighting.
This is what it says. Who picked the new flag?
State Emblems Redesign Commission tasked with choosing the new flag and seal.
No, they're lying too. They're all Somali.
Final selection this week, and the new design will debut next year. It follows 4 months of meetings, many spirited debates, and 2,500 submissions from the public sharing their ideas for the new symbols.
This is why they changed it. He said it was problematic.
Problematic. Oh, I love that term. Our current flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state, and I think it's more reflective of that. Okay, what was the original flag? There's concern with the scene depicted on the old flag, which many found offensive. First adopted in 1957, the flag showed a white settler tilling land as an indigenous man rides horseback. Indigenous members of the State Emblem Redesign Commission said it was harmful to their communities and promoted the erasure of their people from the land.
Wow.
Well, can I see what it looks like? Show me the original.
It's crazy because the person quoted in that article is Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, a name that you're probably unfamiliar with now, but you will most likely be very familiar with down the line. She is slated to be governor of Minnesota. She also happens to be of Native descent. There's probably some reason for her to refuse the old flag. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who was a member of the White Earth Band of Ojibwe, am I saying that right? I don't know. Refused to use the old flag.
Of their people from the land.
Wow.
Well, can I see what it looks like?
She's from my tribe. I would like to be excited, but she reminds me of a certain tribal leader from her band, but I won't get into tribal politics here. Oh, no, I don't want to. Oh, no. Let's not get into that. No, a real native, not like Elizabeth Warren, like an actual native.
Like, show me the original, just get a photo of the original Minnesota flag.
Tribal politics are as follows. The very same divide that you have among leadership from everything that I've read on the matter, every single issue that you see in even democratic processes, like sometimes the division between rank and file union members versus the people who are at the leadership positions in the union, even if it's democratically aligned. Sometimes people will be at odds with one another. Same goes for tribal politics as well. A lot of the natives who are not a part of the the structure or in positions of power within the tribes will sometimes have will sometimes be at odds with those who are in leadership positions. Stop saying natives. What, indigenous people?
Moving on
Sorry.
zone C.
I'm trying to get my band to adopt unions, and all I would say is an uphill battle. Yeah. There are also the very same economic incentives. Sometimes if you cover like earth protectors and shit like that long enough, you realize that there's always one group of indigenous people that are always down for fucking pipelines, okay? It's those who are oftentimes in the pocket of the oil and gas giants. There's always a group of people that'll be like, no, we love. We're natives. We fucking love this pipeline, okay? You can always find a group that is, that stands to gain. Just like you can always find a group in native populations that is pro-Israel, for example. Remember the Cherokee Nation? I give you the N-word pass? Okay, chill. I worked on White Earth Reservation in Minnesota. I'm white and was never told not to say native. Yeah, no, people are being overly cautious. Some extremely online indigenous people are also overly cautious. So if people's only interaction with like indigenous people are online, they sometimes maybe hear from like influencers and whatnot, and then think like that certain things are not allowed or appropriate. Anyway, let's continue.
This is looking good.
Click on that. Let's see what it looks like.
We got all the freaking zones.
So there's a Native American on horseback. I see it though. And then there's a farmer tilling the land, a Native American on horseback. Is that problematic because Native Americans didn't really ride horses? And people didn't really till the land? Like, I don't understand what...
There's a big controversy about that, actually.
Yeah?
Whether or not horses, how long horses have been in North America.
Well, horses originated in North America.
Going after sea.
Yeah, horses originated in North America, including zebras. All of them originated in North America. Then they were wiped out, and they had been introduced into Asia and Africa and all these other continents, and then reintroduced back to America.
Right. I meant like
when people rode them.
Correct.
Right.
So a lot of people are saying that First Nations peoples had horses for a lot longer than Europeans had been in America.
It's certainly possible. There's certainly different segments, different North American tribes that were much better, including right here where we are, the Comanche.
Mm-hmm.
The Comanche were notoriously good at raising horses, and it was part of how fierce they were. They had so many horses. And they rode them so well, and they could ride sideways and shoot arrows underneath the horse's neck. But I don't know why that's so problematic. You got to replace it with something that looks a whole lot like a Somali flag.
Yeah.
The idea does.
Right. I like that he could have just read the article, which features the indigenous lieutenant governor of the state, and I suspect probably mentions why it is considered, annoying and problematic and shitty. Might have something to do with genocide. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that it has something to do with genocide, because that is what happened. So I didn't read the article, right? But like immediately, my first inclination is it might have something to do with genocide. Joe Rogan knows that the genocide of the indigenous population happened. But instead of doing that, he was like, what's problematic about it? That Indians are riding horses? Like that's what do you mean? Like, you can ask that question and then follow that up by getting an answer. Why did you just ask that question in a rhetorical manner only to just like make a joke about it and move on?
Doesn't look like a Somali flag. Is kind of crazy. I mean, it does.
It does.
It certainly does. It's certainly the same color. Certainly also has a white star. It's just a different white star.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, there's another fucking flag that has the color blue and white stars on it. That's insane. I can't do this anymore.
The flag doesn't bother.
No, not Somalia, the United States of America, or the state that he's currently in, Texas.
I mean, that much.
Israel. So many fucking flags have that.
People in Minnesota like it. Like, who cares? It's just a star and some colors. The real problem is when you hear discussions of things that are like openly Marxist philosophies, when you hear talk about equal outcomes and, and not just equal opportunity, but that we all need to arrive at the same place, equal outcome talk. There's only one way they can do that, and it's by
a mix of
what's it
attack
called?
and
Vexillology?
defense. Engage
An inherently
responsibly.
Marxist fascination. It's like Dude, I hate this full-blown Marxism, which is flag
Secure the capture
design.
zones and neutralize the opposing force.
Forcing you.
Well, it's by everyone having nothing.
Yeah.
That's the only way to have
Allies are capturing
things
zone
totally
A.
equal.
Hell yeah.
Because you can't have everyone have everything. That's impossible.
Right.
Allied
There's
forces
no
on
way.
zone
There's not
B.
enough resources. And so
Zone is ours.
for equal distribution, that has to be enforced by law. So that has to be enforced by the government, and the government generally does not have equal. They have much more than you. And that's Fidel Castro in Cuba. That's that's North Korea. That's virtually every communist country that's ever existed. You have a military dictatorship.
Hey. No, brother, no. No, you can't do that. You can maybe say that about North Korea, okay? But don't ever come for fucking Fidel like that. Don't ever come for Fidel Castro like that. You son of a bitch. You fucking ape. You don't know anything. Fidel Castro implemented land reforms on his own fucking family. Suck my dick, dude. Shut the fuck up. That's crazy. Bitch. What do you mean? Oh, it's just, he owned all the land. The government did everything. It's like, as opposed to having slavery, which was cool. Bro, he knows. No way, dude. No fucking way.
Decides what you can and can't do with your time, and all under the guise of making it better for everyone. And that's exactly what they did to North Korea when they took over people's farms. They said,
Google that old image. It has an indigenous person on horse holding a spear. The white farmer is tilling a field with a plow. It's racist as fuck. Yeah, Minnesota, the land of savage natives, and obviously Minnesota, the land of savage natives, and also white people that were taming the land because they are advanced and peaceful. Tame the land and the natives. Less use of savage, please, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, man? And now, Minnesota, the land of Somalis.
Said, we're going to take over the farm so that everybody has food. Yeah.
Probably better if you don't call us savage. Bro, do you think I'm... Oh my God. Oh my God. Chatters, shut the fuck up. I'm saying the depiction of natives there is to imply savagery, a racist trope against the indigenous population. That is why I am saying that. I can't believe how much time we spent on this fucking one Joe Rogan video. I'm losing my mind. We're gonna go on.
And the government has all the food. If you kill a cow, they'll kill you. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts that people don't learn from history, and it's nuts that people who subscribe to this leftist ideology have this very distorted version of humans and how capitalism works and what's the benefits of it. I think there's a lot of parts of progressive ideology and philosophy that could be applied to society to make things better. I think if we funded more things the same way we fund the fire department, the police force, these are kind of socialist things, right? Everybody gets access to the fire department.
Right.
It's a part of being in the community. We all pay for it. Education is that way, but it should be much more funded, right? It should be much more prestigious, much better trained teachers, a more esteemed position.
Watch out, bro. You kind of sounded Somali right now. You know what I mean? You're sounding real Somali with this attitude. Like fucking, what are you, Tim Walz? Talking about funding education and shit. Hey, yo, chill, Joe. That's radical DEI, socialist, Marxist, Somali politics right now that you're broaching on.
I feel the same way about law enforcement. They should be much more respected, much better trained. Much more resources into them, have them be integral and a part of the community, and for the safety of the community. Not the bad guys who come in to pull you over because you roll through a fucking stoplight. You know, that kind of shit.
Right.
And I think the problem is these people that have this idea of equal outcome, this is the worst version of all these leftist ideologies. The worst version is open borders, everybody should have everything, and then equal distribution of it. And then what always comes with that is they unarm the citizens. And if they don't unarm the citizens, you can't get away with any of this stuff. But as soon as you have no one has guns other than the police, everybody's forced to comply.
What are you talking about, bro? All right, I'm done. I'm done with that. We're getting back to like real news. Kamala Explainer by Vox just dropped. All right, we'll do this. 7 moments. Kamala Harris explained in 7 moments. Asanabi explained by 1 big moment, the top of the hour ad break. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free. Oh, fuck.
See you in danger. Allies Take an A. Our guys are going for B. Zone up in case there's any confusion. Get all the zones.
Like, it was only 200 people. Bro! I thought you meant in the entire state of California. I was like, bro, that is literally, like, I thought you meant a statewide implementation of an initiative that she put forward, dropped statewide. How can I not see the ads? By subscribing, Saturn. Oh, Gamer Badge, thank you for the 20 community gift the subs, allowing 20 people to also no longer see the ads. Absent Serotonin, thank you for the 5 gift the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
38-year-old Kamala Harris swept into office as San Francisco's district attorney. And as she did, she made history.
For too long, they've asked these very simplistic questions about criminal justice policy that offer only two choices. You know, either you're soft on crime or you're tough on crime. And instead, I suggest we should be smart on crime.
What was smart about the Smart on Crime campaign? You're telling the progressives, like, I'm not just going to throw everybody in jail. You're telling people who want, you know, more of a tough on crime approach that, like, I still believe in this. She was prosecutor coming out of the tough on crime 90s.
At a time when American drug policy was incredibly
Almost done here.
The idea was
I kind of stopped.
Bro, we have to investigate Kamala Harris. No. How the f does she still look the same, bro? That's weird. Yo, what's going on? Bro, that's like, she was 39 there or something. Nah, that's weird. That's weird, man. Is she a vampire? I'm here to ask the bold and brave questions. Nah, that's weird. I thought it was odd that she like obviously is 60 years old and looks like she's 40. But looking at her back when she was actually 40, I'm realizing I think she took a deal with the devil. Okay, 666. She ate the behelit that kept her from aging. Like, I think she just got perma-stuck in her 40s. How long has she looked like she's 40 years old? It's the same one that Bernie Sanders ate. Maybe she is a real progressive after all. Because Bernie Sanders in like 1993 was like 150 years old, and since then he has looked the exact same, and now he's like 250 years old, but he still looks exactly the same, you know? Telltale sign.
That tough on crime isn't working. What we need is the numbers rather than the emotions that are driving a lot of our policing.
Let's build metrics into our measure of how effective we have been with our criminal justice system.
The metrics by which she judges her success. As prosecutor, it's the numbers, the cases that you won.
I did an analysis of who our homicide victims were, who were under the age of 25 when they were, and I learned that 94% of them were high school dropouts. Perhaps untraditional for me to ask the question, but I did.
She was raised primarily by a single immigrant mother who was a scientist. It's kind of like, what can you prove, not what do you feel?
Nobody is looking to their DA for soaring speeches about the future of democracy.
But I also think that women, in order to be taken seriously, particularly in politics, you do have to show that you have a command of the facts, the figures, the numbers, that you're not emotional.
And so that aspect of national politics has not come very easily to her.
Kamala Harris, a candidate for California's Attorney General.
Your opponent, Ron Gold, has said that he is for the legalization of marijuana recreationally. Your thoughts on that?
That he is entitled to his opinion.
It was very difficult to pin her down about what she thought about things.
Kamala Harris's stance on teacher tenure is not entirely clear.
She would try to say, you know, I'm a prosecutor.
100%, this is correct. I mean, they're trying to make her sound more progressive, and she did do certain things that would come across as progressive by those days' standards. But the reality of the matter is she did a whole lot that wasn't, okay? That's her openly on the legalization of marijuana as an initiative, for the record. Make no mistake, she wasn't like pro legalization there. But also beyond that, she has quite literally talked about rehabilitative justice while simultaneously on rehabilitative justice. I have videos of Kamala Harris from way back when she was openly talking, I think it was like the Chicago Ideas Seminar or whatever, where she literally is being like, it is a delusion to think that you can educate our crime problem. Like verbatim. Why you got videos of Kamala on your phone? I don't have videos of Kamala on my phone. I just remember things. Yeah. If you rewatch the whole speech at Chicago Ideas Forum, you get a very different approach to crime. Really? That doesn't match what she said about the Back on Track initiative? I know, which is why I'm telling you, she straight up flip-flops on that pretty aggressively. In the Chicago Ideas Festival, she openly is making fun of protesters that say build schools, not prisons. This is California that we're talking about. Yeah. Also, she looked at the dropout numbers and then did the most like cop thing you can do. She was like, oh, people do crime when they drop out of school. So what should we do? Prosecute people for truancy, which is, again, an insane thing. Like, my expectation of her is not to be this like super woke progressive DA at a time when that wasn't like a real thing. Yeah. Wow. Oh, this is the famous "You Don't Want Kamala Harris" video from 2019. Many of the DGGers will lose their minds when they see me watching this because they think this is why me and Destiny broke up when we were friends. Anyway, we'll continue with this.
I have to remain neutral about these things. I really shouldn't take a position.
I have many clients in that matter, so I cannot talk with you about what we're doing in terms of the case.
Very seldom is she like first on an issue, right? She kind of like checks out the temperature first, sees how others around her are kind of reacting, and then she jumps
Domination.
in.
I want to be very well informed about exactly where it's going and what the potential of my opinion would be. Before I just express something off the cuff.
She also enters public life at a time when we didn't see any women of color in prominent positions in elected life.
It was a different time in a largely white political system. She had those ambitions from, I think, a very young age to make it in politics, to be highly successful, to make, lives better for people. But I think she also knew that as a woman of color in positions that had always been held by white people, she wasn't always going to be the one who was out on the front edge. She's not a trailblazer in a policy sense.
California's Attorney General Kamala Harris announced that she will indeed run for the U.S. Senate.
Our new U.S. Senator, Kamala Harris!
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
Okay. So, in terms of analyzing someone's progressive bona fides, I consider a Senate tenure that was short-lived under a Trump administration to be akin to a Mickey Mouse ring, okay? Even though the Mickey Mouse ring actually is a very valid ring and maybe even a harder ring to win than normal NBA rings, I'm using what people colloquially mean Mickey Mouse ring. Why? Because Democrats love acting like they are literally the most progressive people you've ever seen when they have no power, okay? When Democrats are in a position of no power, they will go balls to the wall in terms of how progressive their policy positions are and what they champion. Kamala Harris was pro-Medicare for all. What I will say, however, that I think is interesting is that she also did run as a progressive in a field where there were many progressives. So that to me is a little bit more indicative that like her instincts at the very least thought, her instincts were that saying that you are even for progressive causes will allow you to win elections.
I'm happy to answer a more specific question.
That the government has the power to make a decision about a man's body?
I thought you were asking about medical procedures that are unique to men.
I'll repeat the question. Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
Kamala Harris really thrives as a politician, and this makes sense in the context of her background, where she's the one asking the questions.
They have not asked me to open an investigation.
Perhaps they've suggested.
No, I wouldn't say suggest.
Hinted. Inferred. You don't know. Okay. In your March 24th summary, you wrote that, quote, after reviewing the special counsel's final report.
I will say that no one...
Sir, I'm asking a question.
What a lot of Americans saw was a senator who just seemed exciting, who seemed willing to hold the...
No one saw that. No. This is revisionist history. She had a couple good moments. Ain't nobody thought she was an exciting senator. Come on, bro.
These men accountable, not let them kind of worm their way out of the questions she was asking.
That was really important for Kamala Harris when she served in the Judiciary Committee. She knew how to turn conversations into really serious examinations and cross-examinations of the folks who were brought before them.
Bro, I'm sorry. No, hearing moments do make the news, especially those hearing moments. They were heavily televised. The Brett Kavanaugh stuff was popping. People did like her for the Brett Kavanaugh. The reason why I'm disputing the narrative is not because like those things didn't get a lot of play on MSNBC. It certainly did. I just think it is ridiculous to claim that those moments actually led to like a lot of people being excited about her because of her primary performance in 2019. Like that's it. That's the only thing. Like it did not translate to like a Katie Porter style phenomena, right? Like I would say Katie Porter and her hearing and her moments and her pop-up moments and her hearing are almost iconic. Like I have obvious issues with Katie Porter, whatever, that's besides the point. But like people know Katie Porter and people know Katie Porter by the whiteboard. You know what I mean? They know exactly what that's about. A lot of people, and she's had a lot more moments than just like that one-off with Brett Kavanaugh or with Bill Burr or Barr. They know Katie Porter as the woman with the whiteboard who just rips into, you know, pharmaceutical CEOs, things of that nature, like bankers. So there's a Bill Barr.
Almost like a perfect recipe there for her to introduce a version of herself to folks who might not know her outside of California.
I do want to be honest.
I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
I think the fact that those clips went viral shows that there's an appetite, right? She's positioning herself as America's advocate.
You had donors, I mean, just busting down the door after that saying you need to run for president.
Yeah, this is, again, revisionist history. And also, regardless of what the fuck donors felt about her, she literally got dunked on so hard in the 2019 primaries. It's part of the reason why Joe Biden picked her.
I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States.
At the campaign announcement in Oakland, I think there were 20,000 people there. I mean, it was just sort of insane. Expectations have become so high for her after those moments.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record.
The 2020 primary happened in a local moment where the energy on the left and among progressives was very strong.
The 2020 campaign was when her background as a prosecutor was really a liability.
She tried to reposition herself as a progressive prosecutor because that was sort of the hot fad. And
look out, enemy
and you got me
spy
here
doing
like
that.
megaphonics being like, no, she was a progressive prosecutor. Like at the time, there was no such thing, okay? That was not a thing. It was not a thing.
It never quite fit.
I'm an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I would never have described Kamala Harris as a progressive. She called herself the top cop in San Francisco, and then later when she was elected attorney general, like she used those language.
You know, her career sort of predated this idea of what a progressive prosecutor is.
She really had trouble packaging her background in law enforcement as palatable to the base. What you saw often was a candidate who just seemed to be trying to say what she thought would catch fire with the base at that point.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan?
A lot of Democratic voters didn't feel they were engaging with a candidate who maybe actually believed that. People walked away not entirely sure what she believed.
Today, leftists be happy with. Obviously, you should have bashed shit too. I'm just saying. Don't make me pull out all your cake. Where is it? She genuinely used to say based back in the day. The back on track initiative was really the genesis of rehabilitative justice. Bro, you did. You said it was the basis of rehabilitative justice. Like Kamala Harris invented rehabilitative justice. Look, why? Because she wanted to get prisoners to be educated. Anyway, megalib phonics. Was I wrong? She dropped recidivism from 54% to less than 10% with the Back on Track initiative.
The vast majority of parents have a natural desire to parent their children well and love their children.
But there are some who don't necessarily have this and the resources to do that. And
I don't know about those numbers. I don't know about those numbers. I will look into it. That sounds crazy. And I doubt that it's from just one policy initiative in general. That seems personally to me like it was only 200 people. Bro, I thought you meant in the entire state of California. I was like, bro, that is literally like, I thought you meant a statewide implementation of an initiative that she put forward dropped statewide recidivism from 54% to 10%. You literally delivered that information. You delivered that information like I was about to be like, Kamala Harris is the greatest criminal justice mind of all time. Okay. 54 to 10% drop in recidivism is literally like turning one of the worst penal systems in the country, California, to Norway. Okay. Like we're talking, no, better than Norway. 10% recidivism. God damn, dude. She implemented as DA in San Francisco and then AG. They ran a pilot program in LA. The point is she did it and it just needs to scale. Oh, the point is she fought for it, implemented, trialed it, and it worked. She had that dog in her. They just need to do it more. All right. I'm more open-minded. It's just crazy to say that still, regardless, in the California prison system, which is like notoriously bad, despite the fact that right-wingers personally think that they're like playing tickle party in prison in California. It's one of the craziest things that even my uncle believes for some weird reason. California is a notoriously draconian state. Our prison population is overcrowded, okay? We have a horrifying structure, torturous conditions in general, okay? And yet people literally think that like we're just letting everybody out. We're doing patty cakes in prison. Like we don't have like a notoriously bad criminal justice process here in this state. It's pretty crazy. We literally make prisoners fight wildfires in this country. Surely Kamala Harris didn't have a statement on that, on the prisoner slave labor population. Let's continue.
She ran out of money and she struggled to break through.
although I am no longer running for president, I will do everything in my power to defeat Donald Trump and fight for the future of our country.
Joe Biden is officially the Democratic Party nominee for president.
And I commit that I will, in fact, pick a woman to be vice president.
Post-summer 2020, we were in this George Floyd moment.
Biden was talking about passing the torch eventually to a new generation of leaders. And the idea that he would be picking a black woman, somebody who was younger than he was, suggested that he would be picking essentially an heir to the Democratic Party.
I have no doubt that I picked the right person to join me as the next vice president of the United States of America, and that's Senator Kamala Harris.
And the road ahead will not be easy.
3.
But America,
1.
Neutralize the enemy team. Prison overcrowding in the state of California because such an act would make the state lose low-wage workers. Wait, stop.
is ready. And so are Joe and I.
The first year and a half of her vice presidency, not great, to put it mildly. We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
She was given the assignment of...
I love that. That's one of my favorite. That is actually low-key one of my favorite Kamala moments. And I haven't been to Europe. I love that. That is literally a Veep line. Dude, that is straight up Selena Meyer. God, I'm going to be unbearable. But Kamala Harris is so Selena Meyer coded. I'm not even like, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like she was invented by Armando Iannucci.
Of leading diplomatic efforts with Mexico and some Central American countries to address root causes of migration to the southern border.
This is a no-win issue, especially early in a vice presidency. You know what, Kamala Harris is going to solve El Salvador?
Do not come.
To the extent that there are even...
This person is like driving pretty hard. I'm sorry, but this person is, holy moly, riding Harris so hard. Every time she says something, it's like, oh, what are you supposed to do? Solve El Salvador? No, it's not. Public correctional facilities have gone to private facilities by contract to have below 70% of capacity than the state has to pay. I worked at the Elizabeth Detention Center for its thought the money be real? What? Are you saying that they wanted to keep prisoner population at a certain level in an effort to make sure that they didn't have to pay for the entire process? Is that what you're saying? I mean, literally, though, she's a VP. What unilateral power does she have? Brother, that's a ridiculous abdication of duty and responsibility in this situation. When you're talking about an elected position on a ticket, it's the second most powerful part of the ticket. She was appointed the border czar. It was a few move by Joseph Robinette Brandon. But what the fuck are we talking about? Why are we excited about Tim Walz then? I mean, come on. Like, the entire point of that, look, listen to me. Joe Biden over Kamala Harris. I've been saying this. I used to make fun of this all the time. In the beginning of the presidency, I used to make fun of this all the time. Joe Biden would make Kamala do side quests that were like the worst cleanup duty of all time. That's why she was on the border, okay? It is the worst possible job. They made her the border czar, bro. It's an awful place to put the VP. It was revenge for her calling out Biden for busing her in her youth at the debate. Yeah. Yeah. Kamala Harris did not want to do prisoner overcrowding. No, we know that already. Come on. We know that. I know that. I was joking when I was responding to that chatter when I said, oh, I sure hope that Kamala Harris didn't have a statement about prisoners in our overcrowded facilities.
Metrics to determine one's success in this role, they're probably not going to become clear for another decade at best.
She was definitely becoming a team player for the Biden administration, but she was also kind of turning her back on a lot of her previous platform as a child of immigrants, but also as someone who's been a huge champion of immigration policy and immigration reform.
And she is interviewed by Lester Holt.
One of the first major media interviews that she gave, really introducing herself to a lot of Americans for the first time. Very basic and anticipated questions, such as, have you yourself been to the border yet? She could not seem to give a straight answer.
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point.
In the aftermath of that, there were not a lot of major media.
There seems to be so much of a tiger wine the Republicans do. What do you think Republicans are going to shit on her for being tough on crime? What are you, insane? Dude, it's literally a cop versus convict race. What the? Yeah, dude, Republicans going to start buying ads in Texas to be like, Kamala Harris wanted to enslave black people further. It's like, what, you want her to win Texas? What? You're crazy.
Media appearances for her. That one interview became sort of the anchor that a lot of Americans had when it came to, what do you know about this person?
The difference, obviously, between now.
Like, as much as I hate to admit this, policing as an institution is deeply in this country, and yet policing as an institution is deeply popular in this country. I hate it. It's one of my least favorite, probably one of the biggest mismatches between what the reality is objectively and how Americans perceive certain things. I hate it so much. But Americans love cops, okay? They love cops. That's why it's always so funny when people are like, we are not respecting our cops more. It's like, bro, there is literally no profession in the United States of America that receives fellatio that they do not deserve more than cops. They, on a regular basis, it's built into the process that they get no repercussions for it. And yet Americans are literally 70%. They're like, oh, I love cops. Young people hate cops, dog. Your local police has a 68% favorability rating. Your state police has a 65% favorability rating. County sheriffs have a 62% favorability rating. That's a 38 net. There is no profession that is as consistently popular as cops. We are very unique. This might be, I'll be honest with you, I'll give it $1.50, okay? We in this community have a lot of opinions that do not reflect the broader American society. We're on the edge on a lot of, okay? This might be the one thing that we are diametrically opposed to the rest of the country on, okay? Straight up.
We're on track for
U.S. Capitol
success.
Police is 52% favorable, 27 unfavorable is plus 25 net. That might be partially because of Coast Guard, Air Force, Marine, Navy, Army, Special Space Force. Space Force. I would not bundle county sheriffs in that same band as cops for favorability. No, dude, sheriffs is separate. And sheriffs are literally, what are you talking about? Sheriffs are literally less favorable than cops. Sheriffs have a net 38. Local cops have 44. Sheriffs are also awful in general. That's sheriffs are even worse than regular cops, which is crazy. Oh my God. Have you ever eaten a croissant like this, bro? Please don't show me this. I saw it. Like, this is, like, I'm not gonna lie. This is, like, I think Dr. Umar saw this and had a heart attack. Like, I think he didn't even see the tweet. He just, like, knew that, like a presence of the force had been disturbed. Like, it zapped him. You know what I mean? He didn't even have to see it. He felt it. And I think he sensed that disturbance and it broke him. Like, every part of this tweet is so insane. From like him just like RG3 showcasing his throat goes. Like, I feel like he literally dislodged his jaw for the photo op. He's got the thick side of the croissant in comparison to the lady. Obviously, you got like the you know, for Dr. Umar's purposes, you got the snow buddy side of the conversation, but that's not what I'm getting into. Obviously, I'm you know, a Yakubian devil myself, and also pro miscegenation. But like, he took the thick side of the croissant, he lodged it so far down, right? He lodged it so far down, mouth fully open, okay? Mouth fully open. And also the tweet, because many people just get locked in. Many people just get lasered in on the throat, on the throating here, okay? But a lot of people, I think, don't realize, yeah, it's his wife. A lot of people don't realize that, like, well, first of all, they're wearing like the same, like their outfit matching, which is crazy too. But he said it's always croissant o'clock in Paris. Like, arguably, that is so scrum diddly umptious type in terms of like tweeting. Like, Oakley dokley, it's croissant o'clock. Like, what the f is going on? I mean, it's very cute, but this is like this is exactly the type of like I said, this is so in Dr. Umar's wheelhouse. Like, this is Ned Flanders, bro. That's crazy. Enjoying a flaky baked goodness with your wife in Paris with flags, but brother, they are going to cook you for this image, said Mighty Keith.
Over here admiring your handiwork.
Not gonna lie, y'all got us in stitches over here with the replies and quotes. How long would it take you to eat this buttery greatness?
Will never say it, so I will. Good job, agent.
Got dude fired at ESPN for saying he was a cornball, bro. Bro, I just don't get the joke. It's just homophobia. No, dude. Everyone's cooking him for you know, posting like a cornball, like a white guy. It has nothing to do with homophobia, man. Yeah. I feel like this is the reverse of what you see on TikTok, which I always thought was like weird with the black.
In a row, I am starving. My stomach is in my ass. Somebody help. 2 weeks dating a white girl. I invited her to my family reunion, but my uncles didn't say, "Hey, I'll see you, nephew." So I felt kind of sad. But we did teach her how to do the Cupid Shuffle, so that's progress. 1 month dating a white girl, and we just left a Billie Eilish concert, and now she's gonna make green bean casserole. Oh, suck it. Yes, the night just keeps getting better. 6 months dating a white girl. We got yoga at 8, brunch at 12, and we're gonna go to Yosemite Park later on. Pumpkin spice latte for the win every time.
This is 1 year dating a white girl. She's my sugar plum honey bun.
Oh my God. Okay. Hey, I used to work for Adidas when he launched his pro career, so I work with him a lot one-on-one. I can tell you this post is so on par for him. He's just kind of a silly, dumb dude. No, he is. I mean, it's like, this is inoffensive. This is obviously the internet's gonna rip him apart. Like, he's just having fun. I have no issues with this. Okay, please understand that I'm just memeing. Like, he's just a dork, you know. There's nothing wrong with being a dork, but also like croissant o'clock. Oh, this buttery goodness. He said this buttery greatness. I'm in stitches over here. Yum. Scrum diddly umptious. Dating white people is hard. You start going to rabbit funerals and There's levels to this. There's a level to this. When LeBron does it, it's calculated. Yo, no. When LeBron does it, is awesome. Come on. When LeBron posts like a white girl on Instagram, it's the best, dude. When he's like the classic, "Oh, I can't believe this is my life," or "It's Taco Tuesday." It's different. There's a different energy to it. I'm not even kidding. There's a different energy to it. No, it's not. There is literally a different energy to it when he does it. The Bart drawing, yes. You're shameless? Come on. Come on. Okay, you guys are being white supremacists again, bro. You're being God damn, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy that you guys are. I forgot how white supremacy was thriving in this community. I forgot for a second, and now I feel that even I brought up the RG3 situation because some of you are wearing Klans robes again. First of all, I'd like to wish you a happy Women's History Month. Oh my God.
This operation's already underway. Get to work.
Wait, he's an army brat? I didn't know that. But that also explains why he's so corny. Like, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes so much sense. I'm begging you, bro. Look at his hair closely. What? What was it? What was up with his? What? I mean, he's in France. You know what I mean? He's in France, you know? Maybe? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no. I didn't even notice. I thought you were. Oh, bro, this is why when it was a text I was telling Nick, like, remember when he got that fade the one time and he looked like a foy and then he never got it again, and I was like, bro, you have to go to a black barber. Did he get the haircut on the flight over? Maybe it's the photo, dude. Maybe it's like the camera or something. This is, oh, that's so bad. That's a hate crime. I hate to say it. This is a young Republican fade for sure. It is. It is like straight up. This is straight up like it's not 4G auto blow. I'm talking like Young Americans for Freedom ass fade. It's not a fade. That's an immediate. Show your hairline, bud. Bro, I don't think you understand. Like, I don't have a fade there, or whatever this is. I mean, this lineup is so bad. This lineup is so brutal. It's like we move beyond the lineup. The lineup is so brutal. We move beyond like a white barber or a French barber. Like, it's like a blind barber. Because I feel like this is not like a white guy would put this up, but like not this bad. You know what I mean? It was like a uniquely bad. That's a halt, not a fade. Why you got RG3 curbing the buttery greatness zoomed in? It's a jump cut, not a fade. Okay, we're done. This is crazy. He let his wife cut his hair. Be nice. Okay. Let's get back to Kamala Harris. I can't believe we just skipped around. We haven't done a single news bit yet today. Joe Rogan, Kamala Harris, RG3's ass fade. Like, what are we doing? This is okay. Let's continue.
2020 is the Dobbs decision.
The moment where the Kamala Harris that voters are seeing right now really started to come into being was in 2022 when the Dobbs decision leaked.
The woman's right to abortion has been overturned and will lead to nearly total bans on the procedure in about half the states.
The significance of that is profound in terms of what it means for the rights of individuals, and in particular for the right of an individual to make decisions about their own body and not have the government tell them what to do.
Through my reporting, what I found was that she was virtually the only major official in Washington who understood the salience of that issue. Suddenly, she sees for herself a role.
Bro, Glaze, you're crazy, bro. What are you saying? She said, I researched the entirety of Washington and found out, bro, I don't even throat LeBron this hard, okay? As a matter of fact, you've become the LeBron of throating. You've become the RG3 of throating, Kamala Harris. What the she said Kamala Harris is the only woman who understood the salience of the issue of abortion in the Democratic Party. Bro, you literally said you wanted a four-way tongue fight with Katie, Stephen, LeBron. Okay, first of all, you're homophobic. Second of all, you're a white supremacist. And last but not least, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free. I didn't say that, any of that. You guys shut up. I didn't say that. People weren't in here when I said it. Why are you repeating the things I didn't say? Dynamic Jab, thank you for the 5 gifted. Edge Runner, thank you for the 5 gifted. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Nah, you literally said that. Bro, it was an emotional moment. I felt pride, okay? Pride in my country, pride in the gay way. I felt it in my heart. I would kiss him. Whatever, I don't care. It was in the 15-minute barrier after watching LeBron highlights. I've already told you I am not responsible for the things I say. In that 15-minute leading up to the highlight and 15-minute, it's like the police camera. You know what I mean? You know how the police camera's like you before you turn it off or turn it on, it like still is rolling. And there's like a 30-second window that also is captured. It's like that. I have a LeBron window. If I'm going to watch a LeBron highlight footage 15 minutes prior, 15 minutes after, I am not responsible for the things I say. Anyway, let's continue.
He understood the salience of that issue. Suddenly, she sees for herself a role in this administration, being the spokesperson for the Biden White House on the issue of abortion.
I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to run this back. I'm sorry. This woman, in all sincerity, said the Dobbs decision leaked in 2022, and I researched everyone in American politics and found out that Kamala Harris was the only person who understood the significance of abortion. What? Emma absolutely cooked you. This is fire. Wait a second. What's that on Assange's shoulder? Who do I say? You're absolutely goddamn right. I do serve the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. And honestly, there's not really much you can do about it with these. That's crazy because I just ran the ad break. We're hearing that there's emergency vehicles outside the White House. Wait, what? I mean, I don't know why the fire department would be there if Biden is dying. All right, let me finish this before we get to the most insane news cycle of all time, followed up by even more insane.
When the Dobbs decision leaked.
The woman's right to abortion has been overturned and will lead to nearly total bans on the procedure in about half the states.
The significance of that is profound in terms of what it means for the rights of individuals, and in particular for the right of an individual to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do.
Through my reporting, what I found was that she was virtually the only major official in Washington who understood the salience of that issue.
No! Glaze! That's crazy!
She was virtually the only major official in Washington who understood the salience of that issue.
It's not a thing that, like, you can't. This is an insane thing to say. I normally you could say like, oh, Hassan, you're like hyper focusing on what she's saying. Like, who cares? Move on. I cannot begin to explain to you how insane of a statement this is. Like, it is the most significant policy decision that impacts half the population. Virtually every Democrat was screaming it from the rooftops. No, it wasn't just Kamala Harris that like understood that abortion was going to be a big problem. Like, that, what the?
Suddenly, she sees for herself a role in this administration, being the spokesperson for the Biden White House on the issue of abortion. It's something that is very sincere to her beliefs.
This is about people having the freedom to make the decision that is in their own best interest.
I think that was hugely essential for her growth as a politician and just trusting her own instincts.
In America, freedom is not to be given. It is ours by right.
Now we're seeing her in more comfortable settings, especially in the last year, college tours, small businesses, talking about economic opportunity, loan cancellation, climate, and it's those kinds of forums where she really does shine.
We are not going back.
The speech that she gave in Wisconsin was really interesting, where she almost stumbles into a new rallying cry for the campaign, and the folks who were in that high school auditorium latched on to that line and started chanting it back to her. And she realizes in the moment that she has stumbled upon a new phrase. It is specific enough to resonate with people. It's general enough to not necessarily have to define it too carefully. That kind of describes not just her campaign, not just this moment, but can describe a little bit of just how spoiled and rotten the vibes were in the country before Biden dropped out, because it's an opportunity for a lot of folks to be re-inspired and reawakened.
The word authenticity is often so fraught with racial and undertones, but you look at the rallies, the talks that she's doing right now, this is a person who's having fun.
The most important thing that I love you back.
That ease and confidence with which she is currently carrying herself is reflective of someone who knows that the story of her career basically is not a net negative for her.
I'm proud proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
You've seen her kind of embrace her biography as a person, as a woman of color, and she's realized that her personal story is actually powerful and it helps her relate to people, it helps voters relate to her.
She's a complex woman who has complex ideas and is very cautious, steady, not going to rock the boat a whole lot, and down the middle, a consensus person.
I'll tell you, on the subject of my mother, and I keep saying this, but it's true, you know, she said, just since we were young, you know, you may be the first to do many things, but make sure you're not the last.
Really quickly, before you go, we have...
Was this ad sponsored by Kamala Harris's campaign? Because they should disclose that. They can't, you can't be doing this. You can't be posting a Kamala Harris campaign ad without disclosing that you're doing a Kamala Harris campaign ad. That was...
All right, so we're going to talk about Boogie. I wanted to wait for you. So apparently, so anyway, here's Boogie. By the way, he was having choice words for me while it was coming out that this dude was faking cancer. Like, dude, come on. Who you kidding? Look what this motherfucker had to say about me. He's at a con.